Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show, coming to you from Stokes Mazda on Ashley Phosphate Road in North Charleston. Stokes Mazda, longtime supporter of Fort Dorchester Athletics, and we thank them for their support all football season long. In fact, all year long with athletics at Fort Dorchester. Stop by Stokes Mazda and tell them you heard about them here watching the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. I'm the voice of the Patriots, Richard Todd, here with head varsity football coach Sean Lorenzano. The regular season is over, and now everybody's record is 0-0. Starts fresh because the postseason is here. It's time for the playoffs. Coach, before we get to the playoff talk and the game that's coming up, let's talk about the last game of the year. We haven't had a chance to talk about the rivalry game. Your first time coaching in the Summerville Fort Dorchester game, and a great crowd, a great environment. Hall of Fame class of 2024 was inducted that night at the Steve LaPratt Field at Bagwell Stadium. But that was a game where 21-21 in the second quarter, and then things turned. Just give us your description of that, of the whole week leading up to it, and then your reaction to the game itself.
I mean, the whole week, it's intense, right? And the kids feel it, the coaches feel it. I hate to put any emphasis on one game because I think every game should be played like we're playing the New England Patriots. You know what I mean? And we need to prepare the same way. We need to prepare the same way for a stall than we do for a Summerville, but that's not the case, right? You're going to have emotions, you're going to have all the ties, the history, all that stuff goes into it. So leading up to it, I thought we prepared pretty good. I thought we had a good game plan going in. The kids were fired up, coaches were fired up. Friday night comes around, and man, we kind of jumped all over them pretty quick, and it was a good first half. It kind of went back and forth. The referee came up to me and said, "Man, this is an awesome game." And when a referee comes up to you and says that, it's going pretty good. And so we're doing good. Defense is playing well. Offense is playing well. We had a couple big plays and some good sustained drives, and we were doing well. We scored, I think, off a defensive turnover right off the bat. So it was going good, and we're getting into the second half. We just needed, we went in there and told the boys, "Hey, man, listen, they're undefeated. They're playing for all of this, and and for the first time, 4D is the underdog in this game. And you guys you guys came out and you smacked them in the face. Let's continue it. Let's keep doing it. Let's get this one right now." And boys were fired up, and they have some playmakers on that team too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they're a really good ball club. I'll give credit where credit's due. We didn't come out and execute second half like we should have. Probably needed to get the ball in Ryan's hands a little bit more, but he was kind of a little. He's playing a lot of football right now.
He's playing both sides of the ball
He's
throughout
playing
the entire
three
season.
phases of the ball.
Right, even special teams. That's correct.
And, he makes plays on kickoff. He makes plays on kickoff return, on punt return. So he's doing a lot, and so he just didn't have the oomph for the lock in that he usually has in reading stuff and finding holes and the pop in his legs. It just he kind of went down, I think, in the fourth quarter with some shin stuff and ankle stuff. So he's doing great now, but. So that's kind of where it kind of went out of hand, and defense started to they started to lean us a little bit. We had a big injury to our center, broke his leg, so it was just it kind of all started spiraling in the second half, and they made some big plays and we didn't.
Well, yeah, and Summerville ended up winning that game 50-21. The season ends with the Patriots at 5-5, and a couple of questions or themes we talked about throughout the season. Do you feel that the Patriots have yet had a game where 4 quarters you put it all together?
Not at all. No, we have not yet.
And I know another thing about the schedule this year is taking on that level of competition outside the region to get you ready for what's to come with the playoffs. Now, Summerville won the region, but you also at White Knoll, at South Florence. I mean, you had a tough schedule.
Right.
That all is in preparation for now what's about to happen.
Right, exactly. And so, I think and this goes into playing the Stratford early on, so we've got a good idea of where they're at and what they can do and what their strengths and weaknesses are. I'm sure they have ours too, but the difference is we played a harder schedule, and we played some tough games, and I know we didn't come out on top a lot of those some of those games in the second half of the season. But there's a lot of lessons learned there, and we're playing better football than we did week 3, a lot better. And it's funny because you go back, usually you self-scout the season at the end of the season, but now we have to play a team that we played week 3, and going back and looking at it and comparing where we are now to where we were then it's a night and day. Offensively, we're a lot stronger. We execute a lot better. Defensively, we are too. Special teams wise, it's just you can see it, and you can see last week you were telling me, we're not young anymore.
That's right. By the end of the year,
you can see the difference in how we are and how we play from then to now, and and I think the key contributor is the strength of schedule we have. I think we're like a plus. I don't know. I think it was like a plus 13.
You look at the number in the 10 games we played, how many of those teams are in the playoffs? How many of those teams have winning records? It's a testament to the difficulty of the schedule.
Yeah.
And when you get into the postseason, and as Coach mentioned, Fort Dorchester's at Stratford coming up on Friday night, November the 15th at 7:30. We want all Patriots to get out and support the Patriots in the postseason. But when you get into the playoffs, trends are magnified, and mistakes can be crucial and turning points in games. And as you said, not yet putting that four-quarter game together yet.
Right.
And you have that film from earlier in the season against Stratford, which was a one-possession game at the end of the game. I mean, it was about as close as you can get. What do you take from that game, and then what do you take from the season as you move into the postseason where everybody starts fresh?
Right. Like I said before, I think we are far better than we were week 3, and I think they're a little bit better too. Stratford is, but again, we do have that big monkey on our back right now, is that we have not been able to put together a full game. And so I think we had that week off last week.
How did that help you? Because we were waiting for the Upstate to finish the regular season because of delays from Hurricane Helene. That really is a nice break there to practice and to get healthy.
It's great. Help. We have guys dinged up. I mean, we had guys dinged up. We have to get healthy. We had to get refocused back on. Finishing 5-5 is not what we expected. It's not the standard. But it is a new team, and it's a new era, and teams are different around here, and everything, whatever factors go into that pot, they're all nil now because it's a new season. And you had that week where we can reset our brain and reset our minds and say, new season, day by day we get better and better. Day by day, play by play, game by game. So we're 0-0 right now. We're fighting to be 1-0, and after that Saturday we reset back to 0-0, and we're gonna fight again to be 1-0. And so we've got 5 games. 5 games. This is a 5-game, and we're gonna try to get all of them.
Well, and it's win or go home. It's survive and advance, whatever it takes. So the postseason begins. And Coach, just the final thoughts here as we head into that postseason rematch against Stratford, a team we beat earlier in the season. Just on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, I think we've seen the skill players that the Patriots have had all year long up front is really oftentimes where these games are decided in the trenches and trying to minimize mistakes, penalties, turnovers, trying to win that turnover takeaway game. Just how do you feel about your team as far as the preparation that the season has led up? Because it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Well, you look at we went back and did the numbers on this. I think in that Stratford game we had over 100 yards of penalties. Last week we barely had any penalties.
That's been a trend too.
And it's been the last
season.
3 or 4 games we've eliminated. We're maturing, and so as you mature and get better, those things we don't want to get those penalties. Those are stupid. And if I can only ask the kids to do the things I'm asking them to get better at, right? And they if they do, then let's move on to the next thing, and we'll move on to the next thing. So they've fixed themselves in that area of maturity. Execution wise, we're getting better. We've definitely got a lot of work to do still to just to be able to compete in the second half and put a whole game, a whole 4 quarters together. We've got a lot of work mentally we've got to focus on, and we're getting there. I see the growth in them. I see the growth in the boys. They're working their tails off. I know they want it. And you can't ride on history. You can't, and that's a thing. I think to be honest with you, I think going into this season, a lot of our team said, "Oh, we're Fort D. It's just going to be handed to us. It's just going to be given to us, and people are just going to lay down to us." And no, they're not. They're not.
Well, I'll tell you right now, every team wants to be playing into Thanksgiving because that means you're having a great season. And so it all starts coming up Friday, November the 15th at Stratford, 7:30 kickoff. Patriots, come out and support your Patriots as the postseason begins. Now, remember, if you can't make it to the game, you can hear the game. Go to Facebook and type in Fort Dorchester Sports Radio, or go to X, formerly Twitter, and put in FDHS Radio, or you can go to fdhsathletics.mixler.com. That's fdhsathletics.mixler.com, and hear myself along with Ralph Nolan calling the game as the Patriots go on the road to take on the Stratford Knights. Coach, it's been a really interesting, fun season. I know we wanted more success, but again, nobody remembers what happens except how that season's going to end. And it's one play and one game at a time. So
see it through, baby.
That's right. See it through. That's been the mantra all year long. So, Coach, best of luck in the postseason.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
we want to see you out there as the Patriots begin their push in the playoffs. And we thank you for watching yet another edition here of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show.